Picture this. Malibu dusk bleeds across 20-foot glass while my dad's Rolex ticks like a bomb on his wrist. One shove. Champagne crystal explodes. Warm copper blood kisses my Bottega blouse. Silence. Then Mom's ghost in the hush. Expose, never bow. I taste iron, smile through tears, and whisper back, "Watch me erase the Sterling name." Ready to ghost your own dynasty? I'm Taylor Sterling. 28. Heirs don't usually air dirty Cartier laundry. Yet here we are. Dad, executive mogul of Sterling MedTech Group, just tried to delete me. His palm still stings on my cheek, but the real slap lands tomorrow. Their empire goes public with the one file they buried. Mom's death certificate annotated, classified. Backstory. I was raised in a cliffside palace where ocean salt mixed with Chanel No. 5. Grandpa Ben built life-saving devices in a garage and taught me heartbeats outweigh stock price. Mom Charlotte took me to children's wards every Christmas. Tiny hands squeezing mine taught me dignity before diamonds. When cancer stole her at 12, Dad retreated into spreadsheets and Stephanie, his new VP. I mourned alone in Charlotte's closet, chasing the last traces of her perfume like it could stitch a soul. Stephanie slid in wearing Mom's Hermes scarves, whispering upgrades over dinner. I smiled at the performance and started taking notes. Fast forward, midnight raid on Sterling servers. My fingers dance across code while rain taps Morse on the skylight. Inside, hidden clinical trials, faulty heart stents, redacted deaths, offshore payouts, heartbeat syncing with server fans. Proof Mom's cancer was arsenic from a prototype. 1 thumb drive, 3 terabytes. Next sunrise, the same terrace where Dad toasted deals now frames me, live on every phone from Wall Street to TikTok. I lift the drive like a communion wafer. Truth tastes better than trust funds. Silence stretches, then sirens. They say money can buy silence, but it can't mute a daughter carrying her mother's last breath. I taste spring frost and salty shrimp toast. Palm fronds rustle above the Malibu roof deck. Taylor Sterling lifts her oat milk latte. Wave of clinks, kisses, camera flashes, when the hologram snaps across her phone. Same diamond-perfect manicure. Same Vegas white veil. The hand cradled in Benjamin Sinclair's grip is Stephanie's, not Charlotte's. 1999. 11 months before my mother even tasted cancer. Who marries a man still wearing his previous wife's ring mark? Who hugs a child while plotting to erase her mom's existence? My heartbeat skips like wet tires on marble. Back in the Sinclair Cliff Palace, glass doors seal behind me. Scent, cedar closets, ghost of Chanel No. 5. Sound of Stephanie's acrylic claws tapping the banister like dice. She steers me by the elbow, coos, future besties, right? Douglas grins, heel crushing my graduation boot print. Dad watches, haloed by emerald neon from the skyline. Every room whispers replacement. I flash my valedictorian smile anyway. Stanford, patents, late nights painting CAD models while Douglas snores through econ podcasts. I keep my eyes on the rail where Dad's telescope once tracked Mom's hospital window. That old Schmidt-Cassegrain is gone, replaced by a drone rack painted glossy Sinclair blue. Dougie needs a toy bigger than his doubts. 4 years vanish in boardrooms. My name lands on trade cover spreads. Competitors send Lexus coupes and Cartier plaques. Meanwhile, Douglas launches garish fitness bands that snap wrists. Dad still signs the bonus slips. Ben's voice stays in my ears. They will never value you from the inside. So I stay outside until today. Mid-elevator up Sterling MedTech HQ, I finger Grandpa's engraved money clip, brass worn thin by promise. Outside, storm clouds stack like black scaffolds. Inside, every monitor plays on loop a recut promo of Mom's funeral montage. Her smile reduced to background B-roll beneath my new half-brother's grin. I clench. Suits file past. No one sees the silver flash drive in my palm. Tai Guo Fenla. I whisper the Cantonese phrase Victor used the night we cracked the lab vault. Translation: This has gone too far. Elevator doors roll open. In the executive suite, Dad pins a Sinclair crest lapel on Douglas. Same spot he once kissed Mom's cheek. Thunder snarls. The city flickers gold and bruise. I step forward. Floor-to-ceiling glass realer than any mirror. Rain laces the view now. Malibu lightning strobes behind me like paparazzi. They want an heir? I raise the tiny drive. 3 terabytes of offshore contracts, redacted autopsies, late-night wire transfers to Swiss ghosts. Family first, I say, crystal voice snipped with cedar-flavored fear. Camera shutters go wild. Dad's Rolex ticks louder than the storm. Stephanie's nails dig a half-moon into his sleeve. Douglas's grin falters for the first time. I feel Mom's scent drift over salt air. Lightning forks. For one suspended heartbeat, the skyline belongs to the name that built it, not the ones who stole it. Flashback. I'm 9. My spine sticks to the frosted glass door of a Dad's corner office. Mom's voice cracks like warped vinyl. Benjamin, you promised no more layoffs. Bergamot steam curls under the door. I taste metal from the server room. My palms burn on Mom's vintage MacBook. The Apple logo glows against my wet lashes. Dad's laugh is a snarl. Collateral damage, sweetheart. I watch us in the hallway mirror. Same cheekbones. Same fear. Static shocks my finger on the keypad. Memory sears. Present. Storm slaps the Malibu cliffs. Eleanor's voice buzzes through my AirPods. 3 million more to Douglas. Board's sweating bullets. I'm 27. Basement office smells like wet concrete and burnt espresso. No team, no window. Just me and the truth. I trace Mom's initials on the dusty desk. She would never settle for crumbs. Neither will I. 6 months of 18-hour days. Walls plastered with timelines, market dives, red-stringed bank routes. They think I'm proving loyalty. I'm mapping betrayal. Cardiac division is bleeding. 30% sales drop. Hospital chain ready to bolt. Weekends in scrubs, talking to surgeons. Our devices are relics. Competitors slice cleaner, faster. Patients deserve better. Mom deserved better. I open the secure folder. Numbers whisper offshore ghosts. Late-night wires to Zurich. Autopsies stamped confidential. My pulse syncs with the server hum. Dad's Rolex ticks above me like a countdown. I slide the silver flash drive into the port. 3 terabytes of receipts. Rain taps the ductwork. I whisper to the dark. Family first, right? Lightning forks outside. Inside, I'm already burning daylight. I developed a prototype for a modified device that would work with minimally invasive procedures. After testing and refinement, I presented the concept to the division head who was impressed enough to allocate resources for development. Within 4 months, we had a working prototype that surgeons raved about in initial trials. The morning of the quarterly board meeting, I prepared to present our solution and the projected revenue recovery. But when I arrived at the boardroom, my father was already presenting my work, my slides, my research, my prototype in his hands. As I have been directing the team, he said smoothly, we have developed a solution to the cardiovascular division challenges. I stood frozen in the doorway. Board members nodded appreciatively, taking notes. Victor caught my eye and frowned slightly but said nothing. When my father finished, applause filled the room. Audrey, he acknowledged my presence finally. Nice of you to join us. Take a seat if you can find one. The only empty chair was in the corner away from the table. I sat, quietly professional smile fixed in place while rage burned inside me. After the meeting, I approached my father in his office. Those were my designs, I said calmly. My research, my prototype. He barely looked up from his computer. You work for Sterling MedTech Group. Everything you develop belongs to the company. To me, I deserve credit for my work. Finally, he looked at me, irritation clear in his eyes. You know what you deserve. To be grateful I gave you any position here at all. Douglas would have solved the cardiovascular problem eventually, in time for our largest client to walk away. His face hardened. Go back to your little projects, Audrey. The adults are running the business. The following week, company-wide emails announced Douglas's promotion to Executive Vice President of Product Development, citing his innovative solution to the cardiovascular division crisis as evidence of his leadership. My name vanishes, mid-breath. Receipt gone, code strings erased. Office walls breathe cold glass. I push headphones deeper. Heart raps like glitch beats. Eleanor's call snaps reality. Sit, Taylor. Her voice rattles phone speakers. I step onto rain-slick Malibu Cliff Road. Salt stings cheeks. The scent of burnt kelp and wet asphalt. Coastal Cafe glows flicker neon. Envelope bulges in my hands. Paper smells of locked mahogany drawers. Draft will. Grandfather's scrawl. Shares wait. Trust unlocks at 30. Heartbeat jacks. I flip pages. Dust swirls like chalk ghosts. Second file. Emails. Silenced threads. Dialogue stops. Mid-threat. Thunder growls above pier fog. My own name appears. White label. Attachment. Project silence. Taylor. Finger taps. Screen sparks. Cafe lights die. Heartbeats crash. Steam still rises from forgotten espresso. A voice seeps through static. Cold breath at ear. Ready to learn what happens when the clock strikes 30? Silence. Rain beads on the windows like sweat. The boardroom hums fluorescent. My phone buzzes. Silent mode. Red flash. Text reads, delete everything. Taylor Sterling exhales cold air. Her own mirror stutters. Flicker of her mother's bruise. She taps the glass. Heartbeat syncs elevator music. Doors close. Steel cage drops. 3, 2. Gut laces with ice. Level 3. Tonight. Trust no one. She lifts her gaze. Camera lens blinks red. Someone's watching. Mom's last voicemail gone. Glitch or silent witness. No time. Elevator walls tighten like lungs. She presses stop. Silence roars. Benjamin Sinclair paces his penthouse. He clutches a broken cufflink from his father's funeral. Storm slams Malibu cliffs. Lightning cuts glass reflections sharp. He mutters, Taylor knows. His phone rings. Private number. He doesn't answer. He can't. Jackson Wright sits in his cubicle. He reads corporate contract revisions, teeth clenched. Words blur. He sees Douglas's smug signature. He texts Taylor. Code ready? Her reply. Bring fire. Midnight. Service tunnel glows dim. Dripping pipes echo like drumbeats. Taylor steps forward. Rubber soles squeak. She smells rust. Smells betrayal. Jackson emerges from shadow. He hands her USB, encrypted. Everything they buried. She pockets it. Fingers tremble. Storm rages overhead. Benjamin appears. Face pale. He says nothing. He watches. Taylor meets his stare. She sees guilt. He sees resolve. Doors creak behind them. Flashlight arcs. Security guard silhouette. Jackson whispers, Run. They scatter. Boots echo. Taylor slips through maintenance hatch. Breath catches. Metal cold against skin. She descends ladder. Every rung a heartbeat. Bottom floor looms. A voice rises. Female. Charlotte Sinclair at her shoulder. You can't stop us. Taylor spins. Phone glitches. Screen cracks. A recording starts. Her mother's voice. Soft. Hurt. You deserve the truth. Taylor listens. Eyes burn. She nods. Now she knows why. Imagine this. A single raindrop slides down the penthouse glass. Thunder groans like it knows your name. I stare at the spreadsheet hell in front of me. Columns blink red, phantom accounts sipping from the same straw built to sip kids' lives away. How many little cancers could these numbers cure? They didn't. They paid for country club napkins. I smell the mint of bad money. I taste metal on my tongue as next plot snap freezes time. My fingers shake. Laptop glows blue like a drowned moon. I drag Autopsy Dax LSX into the hidden folder labeled simply Mom. The cursor hovers, trembles. A ghostly pop-up writes itself. Did you hear the clock strike 30? My stomach drops through elevator cables. Mom's voicemail echoing behind drywall. Camera angle tight on the USB stick now. Tiny silver shark tooth. I click Encrypt. Red metronome counts 6, 5, 4. Breath fogs the lens. Outside, Malibu sirens wail in stereo with my heartbeat. A sharp whiff of ozone, rain scent, and regret. Charlotte laughs somewhere champagne's away. I can't see her, but I feel her claws on my reputation still warm. Black boots on marble outside the suite. Boot, boot, boot. My pulse triples. Message blinks. They know your cursor. Door handle twists. Creak. I stab delete, stab freeze frame, stab. Darkness eats the room. Screen blackout. We cut to later that night. I'm seated at the edge of the gala. Grand ballroom sparkles Tiffany lights. Fake smiles as stiff as Botox. I'm in my simple black slip. Invisible princess of primetime crime. My table's basically the kids' table minus crayons. Glass clinks fake applause. Dad laughs, necktie knotted tight with guilt. Stephanie's diamonds scrape air like glass knives. Douglas twirls some forgettable model. He leans in, ego, oversized cologne. He jokes about another day, another patent stolen. I hear every word like shattering glass. I smile anyway. Ice cold, camera circles. I look calm outside, hurricane inside. Victor leans closer, board member exiled to the perimeter like me. They're investing charity donations into casinos abroad, he whispers. My heartbeat spikes. He slides me a folded menu, on the back, account numbers. My mother's handwriting on photocopied ledger. The menu smells faintly of truffle and woe. Flash, Pabst fire. I blink. The ballroom warps. Moment slow motion. Dad posing, Douglas waving, Stephanie curtsy smirk. Beneath the applause, hidden speakers loop a tiny lullaby Mom used to hum. I choke on déjà vu. Now I know why the clock struck 30. It signaled betrayal o'clock. Still, I smile in the dark, counting my next steps like stacks of silver coins. The truth can't be unencrypted, unless I'm the one holding the final key. Legacy in 24-karat lettering. I murmur to the crystal flute. Bubbles race upward, dizzy champagne stars begging me to scream. Victor leans in. Legacy or lie, choose one. His breath smells of oak barrels and regret. Flashback, crackle, I'm 9. Warm magnolia rain taps my shoulders. Mom's hair is rose gold highlights, wet at the tips. I sprint through her rose maze, catching screen light like lightning bugs. The camera zooms, petals stuck to my cheek, laughter sparkling in magnolia air. She kneels beside humming motherboard hot laptop. Glasses flash binary rain. She whispers, protect her through numbers. I spill peppermint tea, gulp, leaves burn instant espresso steam. Static pop. Roses solder into my memory like branded perfume. Click. Red cursor on audit logs wiping to white. Her last chime rings. Truth never breaks. Only trust does. Back to Gala 2024. Bow-tied vultures. Chandelier tears rain down on long tables. I fake smile. My black silk slip says, Invisible Queen. Douglas lifts glass. Sloshes champagne on cufflinks. Royalty never looks drunk, right, Mom? Restroom detour. Left. Service hall. Chewing gum carpet. Blue glow from exit signs hums like Mom's old screen. Hotel business center. Fingerprints glint on keyboard. Eleanor's code. 72329. Door creaks. Click. Blue buzz of server racks. I dive into Sterling Medtech's dungeon. Folder icons tremble like guilty pupils. 201 minutes feels like 201 heartbeats skipped. PDFs unfurl like horror graphic novels. Slush funds dancing through shell companies. New wave patent royalties forked to Istanbul slot machines. Colombian charitable clinic listed as a yacht registration address. My pulse thuds soft, boot, boot, against tile warnings. Notes I yank. Richard's golf foursome bombed the offshore yacht with Bitcoin. Alt-F destroyed, but I Ctrl-S mothered every page. Last folder. William Estate. Paperclip icon looks like a guillotine. Inside, original will. My name. 30 candles, controlling share. Beside it, photocopies of forged signatures, perfect except for missing the deep ink indent. Mom's brown gel ink. Eleanor's spy scan. I jammed the USB. It glows baby shark silver. Encrypt. 6, 5, 4. Red metronome bleeds. Hallway footsteps, heels clicking like cufflinks. I slide drive into bra lining seam. Heartbeat races USB's red heartbeat. Return to ballroom. Lights dim. Drones film slow-mo confetti. 17 balloon chandelier shivers. Reality slows to Instagram boomerang. Douglas toasts. Slays grammar. Innovation continues the Lancaster. Sterling legacy. Fake applause. Dad laughs. Necktie chokes self-made guilt. They announce Stephanie's new pediatric wing. Mom's wing, renamed in heartbeat theft. Camera lingers on my face. Crystal smile, glassy pupils, rain scent curling hair. I clap porcelain perfect. Inside, numbers burn like acid drops. At 1:02 a.m., I drift past polished mahogany doors. Voices bleed into the library. Scotch clinks ice. Erase the Dubai servers tomorrow, Dad orders. And the girl, Stephanie purrs. Leave her stories to venomous PR. My finger traces doorway grain. Legacy or lie. Memory or revenge. USB warms against my skin. Tiny living lullaby from Mom's code. I step back into shadow hallway. Magnolia scent ghosts around my ankles. Truth never breaks, unless I do it for her. For once, I was included. Perhaps because excluding the only Lancaster actually present at the founding family's table would have seemed odd to the clients in attendance. Our family estate was lit up as cars pulled into the circular driveway. Staff took coats and served drinks in the main hall. I watched my father hold court board members and executives laughing at his jokes, seeking his approval. The power he wielded was intoxicating to them. Around midnight, as discussions broke into smaller groups, I made my way to my father's home office. I needed one final piece of evidence, bank statements showing personal benefit from the corporate fraud. I knew he kept hard copies in his desk, too cautious to leave everything in digital form. I was photographing documents with my phone when the door opened. My father stood there, glass of scotch in hand expression, shifting from surprise to anger. "What are you doing in here?" he demanded. I straightened phone, slipping into my pocket looking for the Anderson proposal you mentioned earlier in my desk drawers. "Try again." We stared at each other, the pretense between us finally dropping away. I thought of all the times I had sought his approval, his recognition, all the brilliant work I had done for his company, all the lies he had told. "I know about grandfather's will," I said quietly. "The real one." Color drained from his face. "You have no idea what you're talking about. I know about the offshore accounts, the diverted research funds, the tax fraud." He sat down his glass carefully. "You think you understand business at your age? Sometimes complex strategies look questionable to inexperienced eyes. Fraud looks like fraud to federal prosecutors." His expression hardened. "Are you threatening me? I am telling you I know the truth about everything, including how you built your precious empire on stolen inheritance and criminal activity. You ungrateful little." He stopped himself visibly, bringing his anger under control. Glass explodes like stars. Shards hover, sparkle, freeze mid-fall. The foyer tilts 90 degrees. Blood beads, suspended, turning ruby in the chandelier's light. I see Mom, younger, bruised lip, phone pressed to her ear, trapped inside every fragment. Each glint whispers voicemails I never found. Her voice, soft, frantic. Check behind the portrait. Time loops. Crash. Silence. Then the walls flicker. The hallway pixelates. A green screen? No. The whole corridor is a deep fake stage, live-streamed to the board. My life, our legacy, built on AR silence. Real walls gone. Real home deleted. They fed the world curated chaos, masked the crime in glitter. I gasp. Pain slices my shoulder, but I laugh, because the feed's still live. Millions are watching, and I know exactly where the portrait hangs. I rise. Glass rains off my dress. Each shard sings. Pain? Sharp, yes, but the sting feels like freedom. I step over the glittering mess. Blood dots marble like spilled rosé. Do not touch me. The words slice louder than any shard. Head high. I glide through the crowd. Behind me, Dad barks. Party's over. Stephanie laughs too loud. Douglas offers rides. None of them see the camera in my clutch. Upstairs, mirror time. Tiny cuts map constellations on my arms. One deeper line above my ear leaks crimson. I tweeze out glass, drip antiseptic. Smells like childhood pool days. Then, plan mode, cloud backup, hidden drive, envelope already mailed to Jackson, insurance stacked 3 ways, memories crash, Grandpa showing me the first prototype, Mom humming while I soldered wires, Dad's smile turning cold the day I outcoded him. 3:02 a.m., Eleanor texts, "You okay?" I stare at the screen. Rain taps the window like Morse. I type, "I'm finally awake. Send." My phone buzzes again. Not Eleanor. Encrypted Vault app. 1 new video. Autoplay. Mom. 3 months after her suicide. Alive. She stands inside Dad's server room. Blue glow on her cheekbones. Whispers. Taylor. If you're seeing this, I didn't jump. I'm breathing. I'm hiding. I sold the ledger, not your father. Meet me. Malibu Lighthouse. Trust no one. Video ends. Screen black. Heart jackhammers. I taste iron and salt. I grab keys. Hoodie up. Slide down the back staircase. Garage smells like gasoline and secrets. I slip into Mom's old Tesla. No plates, engine hums, headlights off, drive, coast road twists, fog curls like vape smoke. Each curve feels like a heartbeat. Lighthouse ahead. 1 bulb blinks. I park. Step out. Wind bites. Ocean roars below. Footsteps crunch gravel behind me. I spin. Mom steps from the shadows. Tired, alive, fierce. She opens her arms. I run. Salt and jasmine. Her scent. We cling. She whispers, "We end this together." Rumors about the gala are popping on every feed. I thumb a quick reply. "I'm okay. Tomorrow flips it all. Be ready." Eleanor fires back in 3 seconds. "Say the word. I'm yours." She kept Grandpa's secrets for 30 years. She stayed at Sterling MedTech after his death. Half loyalty, half watchdog, I realized later. She watched my dad turn patient-focused dreams into profit machines. Flashback to 6 months ago. We're in the sub-basement archive, alone. Dust smells like old circuit boards. She shuts the folder mid-sentence. "Your grandpa had a motto." I wait, heartbeat loud. Never confuse the name on the building with who owns the work. I blink. It belongs to the patients counting on us. To the coders, builders, dreamers. She tilts her head. Not to any one king. That line tattooed my skull. Now, 4:28 a.m., I stand on the balcony. Damp Malibu air tastes like copper and sea. I open the secure folder on my phone. Files flicker. Offshore accounts, ghost patents, insurance fraud slopes. Red annotations scream, "Subject's mother." Red X. Delete intent flagged. I call Victor. Second ring. He answers. I saw the live. Low voice, no filler. "You hurt?" Small glass kisses. "I'll live." Meet before trading opens. Fraud bigger than Theranos squared. Pause that buzzes louder than the waves. I've had my suspicions. Your dad blocked every deep audit. I close my eyes. I have everything. 6 a.m. Your home office? Bring curiosity. He exhales. See you. Next message pings 3 board members. the ones who still remember Mom's code of ethics. I attach a single teaser chart. Subject line, dawn session, moon won't stay buried. Tesla hums 1 more mile. Mom's still hidden in the lighthouse bunker. We sync plans. Sun stabs the horizon. Clock starts. Midnight, 7 hours later. I glide into the glass archives. Blue drive LEDs glow like live coals. Eleanor stands by the rack, face chalk. Project Halcyon. The folder. Mom's face blinks next to a crimson X. I whisper, "Back away, Elle. It's evidence." Her hand quivers on the delete key. The vault door begins a slow hiss, steel petals closing. Heartbeats sync with the warning beep. Each second sounds like a last breath. Will she erase my mother's final defense? Or will this frame finally lock her inside with the truth? No sun yet. Only city lights blinking through Jackson's blinds, red, amber, blue against my cheek like old police strobes. My pulse keeps time with the drip-drip espresso machine. Jackson slides a mug closer. Steam curls, fogging the lenses of my glasses. Suddenly, I'm 12 again, watching Mom's breath on a winter window, tracing hearts with her finger. Flashback rips in, her laugh lines, the soft lavender lotion scent when she kissed my forehead goodnight. Dad's voice, farther off, "Keep heritage pure." Pure how? Cover-ups, FDA docs, overwritten safety logs, patients left trembling while balance sheets glittered. I blink. Back here. Breath tastes like bitter roast in metallic panic. Jackson taps the legal pad. Ink dots bloom like bullet holes. SEC, IRS, criminal. 3 lives glimmer, 10,000 futures wobble. I've counted stakes, I say. Each word cracks the quiet. Stock crash? Jobs lost? Horrific. But living under lies combusts people slower. Mom taught me that. My throat burns. Dad's empire is built on hidden blood. He watches me. Rain lashes the terrace. I swear I hear leaf rustle, not glass. Nervous systems of buildings twitch. All those lights, laptops, ventilators, insulin pumps, plugged into our revenue streams. Innocent lives wired to deception. He leans in. First call goes to the Whistleblower Council. They'll freeze records. Second call, full DC press deck. You'll need immunity. Witness box ready. He scribbles phone numbers like secret coordinates. I slide a USB across the table. Mom's final encrypted archives, biosensor failures, hacked trial audits, offshore cache poker chips. Neat. Deadly. He slips the drive into a Faraday sleeve. No ghosts tonight. Timeline? He asks. By lunch, I answer, and feel weight balance. A dagger lifted from scar tissue, poised now over the people who still think Sterling MedTech means miracle tech, not murder by spreadsheet. Coffee cools. Outside, the sky finally shifts from bruise purple to fragile gold. Somewhere, Mom would smile at the sunrise. I breathe in sea salt and rain. I breathe out. I choose truth. I stare into the mirrored wall of the 22nd floor boardroom. My reflection splits, spiderweb thin. One shard shows me now. Another shard shows me at 10, crouched behind the same smoked glass partition, knees knocking. Dad's silhouette towers over Mom. A single fist thuds. I smell lemon disinfectant mixed with Mom's perfume, still lingering in the carpet fibers. A third shard peels away. Inside sits a grainy camera feed of that night, shot from the ceiling dome. A red timestamp crawls. 02.14. A.M. December 12. I was the subject. They archived my fear. The fracture moves. The mirrored edges bleed pixels and the hidden file label surfaces. Insurance. Minor witness. Leverage. My own tear smudge looped forever. My heartbeat rattles like loose elevator cables. Is this why Dad kept me close, so the witness would never talk? Jackson's voice cuts the silence. We're live to the SEC in 4 minutes. The USB trembles in my palm. The footage isn't just leverage on me now, it's leverage on him. Suddenly, the lights dim. A motion trigger, automated dusk. The screens flip from quarterly profits to that corridor age 10. I inhale rain-scented air from the cracked balcony door. I exhale metallic dread. The boardroom speakers pop. A voice, "Mrs. Sterling, please confirm evidence upload." One button, one exhale. I press it. Somewhere down the hallway a phone rings, unanswered. My father's voicemail loops, "Taylor, sweetheart, call Dad." Sweetheart. The word used to mean bedtime stories. Now it tastes like battery acid. Jackson slides the final packet across the mahogany. Journalist drop boxes, timestamps synced to millisecond. After this, the stock will nosedive, he warns. Are you ready for the crash? I picture Mom's gentle hand on my forehead, checking for fever. I picture the sterile room of clinical trial patients, tremors recorded, profit margins celebrated. Let it crash, I whisper. Better a crash than an avalanche of silence. My phone buzzes again. Stephanie, Dad's chief counsel, text floods the screen. Urgent. Cease and desist. Think of family legacy. Family legacy. Funny. The legacy is a scar on my brow and a ghost in the corridor. I set the device face down. Silence swells like tide. The only sound is rain tapping tinted glass. Soft, deliberate, almost like Morse code. Outside, Malibu cliffs flicker in stormlight. I feel the city breathe. Ventilators hiccup, infusion pumps blink, every pulse wired to Sterling Medtech's cloud. I imagine the moment those devices switch to safe mode, once the servers freeze. A collective sigh of relief across ICUs I'll never meet. Jackson offers a simple nod. You're clear. Whistleblower counsel will shield you. I nod back, lighter yet heavier, like trading an anchor for a parachute. I open the balcony door. Cool wind lifts my hair. Mom used to call sea spray liquid courage. Tonight it coats my cheeks, salt on open wound. I whisper to the night, "For you, Mom." Lights across the bay flicker, then steady. The city doesn't know it yet, but tomorrow it wakes to a truth 10 years in the making. Glass ghosts across my shoulder. Not pain, remembering. I see Dad's eyes, all storm and no apology, like I dared a god to flex. 9 rings later, Eleanor picks up. It's today, I breathe. Her reply is calm. Years of chessboards, darling. Dad would toast you. Noon clicks, 12:30. I lob files into SEC cyberspace. Boom. 12:45. 7 trusted board members get an email that looks like a hug, smells like kerosene. 1 org. Journalists get a velvet-roped drive link, nicknamed Pandora.zip. Then, silence chewing the room like tinfoil. 2:17 p.m. Victor calls. Financial freeze started. Herald, 4 p.m. Summons. He's vanished. My pulse drums in my wrists, counting lies. Dad still thinks I'm caged. He doesn't know cages bend if you're quiet long enough. 3:30. Jackson's text slices. Feds inside, everything locked, elevators hushed. Faster? Never saw the accelerator hidden under mahogany. Someone on the board poured lighter fluid. Douglas calls, again. I let the ringer scream to voicemail. 4:62. I need the final flash drive, nestled in Dad's safe between his medals and Mom's rosary. It holds the last thread of his stitched-together fame. I park 2 blocks out. Rain scent slinks through the cracked window. Ozone and salt. Palm leaves rattle like bones denied a funeral. My boots sound too loud on cobblestone once meant only for garden parties. The gate code still works. Of course it does. Legacy loves repetition. Inside the foyer, light drips from a chandelier untouched since prom pictures. Down the hall, the office door gapes. Inside, Dad's chair spins slow. Empty. On the desk, an open velvet box. The flash drive is gone. Footsteps above, soft, deliberate. I freeze. Looking for this? A voice, female, familiar, razor wrapped in satin. Stephanie steps from shadow, The drive pinched between manicured nails like a ticket to the afterlife. Why? Escapes my throat before I leash it. Because fathers can be replaced. Fortunes can't. She flicks her gaze to the window. Red and blue lights bloom outside like sudden poppies. Sirens, distant but closing. You hero, me pragmatist. Only story that changes is the narrator. The fire alarm yowls. Sprinklers hiss, ceiling lies in steam. Door swings. I lock eyes at the threshold with Jackson, water beating off his collar like calm mercury. Clock's out, he mouths. Trust fall. I exhale. My hand closes around Stephanie's wrist, gentle, surprising. The drive clatters to the wet marble. We dive for it together. Silence, splash, heartbeat overlapping heartbeat. My phone buzzes against my damp palm. One notification. I don't look yet. Outside, the Malibu sky sags like wet wool and the air tastes metallic, the rain scent curling around eaves. A leaf rustles, then another, like the house itself is trying to whisper. Inside, every floorboard sighs under the memory of parties no one here threw. I step around the dried blood that still maps my fall. Dark, starburst, silent accusation. Safe behind the desk, I crouch and feel the hunting painting's frame bite my fingertips as I ease it aside. The dial clicks. Once. Twice. Heartbeat syncs with tumblers. Click. The door sighs open. Grandfather's will stares up like a sleeping witness. Parchment, ink fading, signatures trembling. Dad's red annotations slash across the margin. Delete. Transfer. Never hers. I shoot them in 8K, each line screaming betrayal into my cloud. Beside it, a slim leather journal hums with the scent of old tobacco and cedar. I skim pages. Line item. Trust reverts to blood, not boardroom. My chest tightens. Birthright. I cradle it like a heartbeat, slide it into the lining of my bag just as the air pressure shifts. Footsteps, leather on marble. Quick, Douglas. His cologne arrives first. Bergamot gone stale. He rounds the desk, knees level with my eyes, Gucci loafers splattered. His breathing is ragged. "Where is it?" he hisses, rifling drawers. Papers fly like wounded birds. I count seconds and heartbeats. 4, 5, 6. Then my phone, face down on Persian rug, lights the ceiling in ghost blue. One word on the screen. One word that freezes everything. Tonight's timestamp. Douglas freezes too. The room narrows, edges blur like lens zoom. Rain hammers the roof in triple time. My pulse joins the drum, louder, louder. Did Douglas know? Does Dad know? Does Mom? A single question loops behind my teeth. If she never died, who buried her legend? My next call was to Jackson. I need to know if I should come in or stay away. Stay away, he advised immediately. The board knows you are the whistleblower, but it is better if you are not physically present while federal agents are conducting initial interviews. I have informed select agents that you are available to provide testimony when needed. Has my father figured it out yet? Jackson's voice was grim. Yes. When agents mentioned the altered will, he apparently shouted something about you before his attorney shut him down. At 6:00 p.m., I checked into a hotel under a pseudonym, as Jackson had advised. From this secure location, I monitored developments through secure communications with my allies inside the company. The Evening News ran the first story's federal investigation at Sterling MedTech Group. Medical device giant facing fraud allegations. Lancaster executive mogul under investigation. None mentioned me specifically yet, but that would come. I had provided the journalists with enough background that the full story would emerge in waves, each more damaging than the last. At 9:12 p.m., my father finally called again. Against my better judgment, I answered. Why? His voice was hoarse, barely recognizable. You know why? Do you have any idea what you have done? The company will not survive this. The company will survive without the fraud and corruption. He was silent for a moment. Then, with cold fury, You planned this, all of it. Coming back to the company, gaining access. I came back to save what grandfather built. I gave you chances to do the right thing by destroying your own family. This company supports hundreds of employees. Patients depend on our products. Do not pretend this is about employees or patients. This is about what you stole from the company, from shareholders, from me. His voice turned, pleading, a tone I had never heard from him before. Audrey, please, whatever you think I have done, we can resolve this privately as a family. The hotel lights flicker. 4:59 a.m. My heartbeat counts each cold second. A single red dot still pulses on the dark hallway feed. Laser sight, heartbeat, doom. I slam the laptop shut, yet the dot stays like it's burned inside my eyes. Ring. Hotel phone screams. Taylor Sterling. My whisper scrapes. Victor's voice, steady, terrified. News. Now. Remote skids across the carpet. Screen blooms blue. A drone shot. Malibu cliffs. Black SUVs fan out like attack crows. Sterling MedTech Group glass tower under floodlights. Cameras cage the plaza. FBI windbreakers. Executive mogul Benjamin Sinclair and CFO Martin Wells taken into custody. Close-up, my father, hair wild, suit crumpled, wrists bare, no cuffs, yet he looks shackled by the cameras. Stephanie Sinclair beside him, mascara, river tracing cheeks. Breath hitches. I taste the ocean salt through sealed windows. An anchor leans in, dramatic. Sources tell us a sealed indictment identifies a second unnamed whistleblower, heir apparent to the Sinclair legacy. The shot widens. A headline banner flashes, daughter turned dragon slayer. Instant vertigo. The room spins. My own face, yearbook candid, appears on gossip sites in a side-by-side with Dad's mugshot. Luxury juxtaposed with ruin. Pastel Barbie yacht versus steel interrogation room. Phone again. Jackson, urgent hush. Taylor, board's convening emergency session at 9 They want you on site. Public image cleanse. Golden child takes the throne. Exception from media gauntlet. You in? A single keycard lies by the door. Or is that the glint of a scope? Run. Stay. Every choice is ricocheting bullet. I scroll text messages. Unknown number, blocked, then unblocked. Short clip autoplays. 3-second loop. A gloved finger dragging a red laser dot across my hotel door. Then the dot slides down. Pauses. Dead center on the peephole. Direct eye contact through steel. Screen blacks out. 5 chilling words burn white. Tick, tock. Princess. Gooseflesh storms my arms. Air conditioning vents breathe ice. Scent of hotel bleach stings like future autopsy. Another ping, now from my private encrypted email. Subject, evidence package alpha, about your mother. Heartbeat stalls. Mom's face overlay on the screen. Sweet, determined, taken too soon. I never opened the forensics on her car crash, until now. Cursor trembles. One click to exhume every secret they buried with her. The dot outside flickers, then vanishes. Silence presses heavier than sound. Do I open the email, birth truth or bluff trap? Do I march into the boardroom, savior or scapegoat? Do I run, abandon the empire, the legacy, the ghosts? I straighten shoulders that suddenly feel Mom's silk scarf around them. Time to end the dynasty, I whisper. One deep breath. Metallic hotel key bites cold between fingers. Door handle turns. Hallway yawns, fluorescent lit, empty, until a single red rose lies at my feet, petals drizzled like fresh blood. I step over it. Elevator dings. Choice doors closing. 4:59 a.m. Ceases. Tomorrow starts now. I step through the chrome elevator threshold at 8:53 a.m., and the entire world hiccups. There, centered under a halo of skylight, Douglas sits not dead, just sipping coffee. Phone screen mirrors the morning's CNN chyron. Pictured. Suspect still at large. He's framed by it like a grin. Heart slams ribs. wet concrete scent, elevator's hydraulic hiss still ringing. "Morning, princess," he murmurs, calm as still water, eyes glinting victory. Behind him, the wall monitors flicker. My own takeover vote, 6-6 deadlock, now a red slash, tie broken. Victor's voicemail autoplays aloud. "We never counted the silent proxy, Taylor. That seat? Always his." Floor tilts. Breath tastes metallic, like chewing old pennies. Everything I leaked, every midnight hack, it streamed live to a chair I didn't even know existed. My coup became his encore. The room holds its breath. Even the coffee steam seems frozen. Douglas lifts a single document. My mother's unsigned codicil. Today's fresh ink drying. History repeats. He smiles. I feel rain-scent memory. Mom's perfume on childhood porch swings, suddenly guttered by boardroom AC chill. Millisecond stretch. Heartbeat rams eardrums. Then, I meet his smug gaze, steady as camera zoom. "If the stage is yours," I whisper, loud enough for every mic, every lens, every future juror, "let's give them the final act they deserve." I reach into my blazer, draw out not a flash drive but a tiny Bluetooth beacon. Click. All 12 screens refresh to the real-time audit trail every stockholder craves. Ghost shares, flipping to public. Douglas's coffee cup pauses midair. The smirk cracks. First fracture. Outside, leaf rustle wind carries sirens. Federal cars rolling curbside like thunder arriving early. I taste salt adrenaline on my tongue. Choices collapse to one. Stay, stare down the empire, let the law walk in with cuffs already humming. Elevator dings again, agents in navy, name tags catching fluorescent glare. I pivot toward them, not away, heels ringing marble like war drums. Douglas stands too quickly. Chair wheels screech. Eleanor appears beside me, offers a silent nod. Shift of loyalty palpable as static. Flashbulbs pop white behind glass walls. My voice slices the hush. "Gentlemen, I believe you're looking for the former chairman." Handcuffs click, steel music. I step backwards into clear light, a new headline already rendering. "Daughter turns dragon, dynasty burns." Victor waited in Dad's old office, now sterile, stripped, like a crime scene wiped clean. The numbers, worse than any horror reel. He shut the door. "Fraud runs deeper than your leaks." Wells flipped at midnight. Cut a deal. Named Dad. Stock frozen pre-bell. 30, maybe 40% cliff when it thaws. Hospital CEOs spam our switchboard. FDA wants emergency sit-down. Patient safety. My pulse stutters. So far, cash games, no faulty implants. Small mercy. We draft talking points. The air tastes like burnt toner. 8:45. Phone hums. "Stephanie." I swipe. "How could you?" Her voice cracks, rage or grief, same pitch. "He chose every lie," I answer. "They cuffed him in front of cameras." I picture the perp walk, feel nothing. "What about Douglas?" Pause. "Handling it his way." Translation, bottle or bolt hole. "Steph, bored in 10. "You'll end up with 0, she hisses. "Family is everything." I smile at the Malibu rain scent drifting through the vent. That's why I did it. For the family that believed in truth. Click. Victor taps his watch. Elevator doors yawn like a verdict. The boardroom was tense, divided between directors who had supported my appointment and those still loyal to my father. I entered with chin high, taking the seat at the head of the table that had been my father's for 2 decades. "Good morning," I began calmly. "I recognize this is an unprecedented situation for Sterling MedTech Group. I want to assure each of you that my priority is stabilizing the company, cooperating fully with investigations, and ensuring continued production of the life-saving devices our patients depend on. For the next hour, we addressed immediate concerns, communication strategies, leadership transition, and regulatory compliance. I outlined a 90-day stabilization plan emphasizing transparency and accountability. By meeting end, even the skeptical directors seemed cautiously supportive. At 11 a.m., I met with federal investigators. For 2 hours, I walked them through my evidence, answered questions about company operations, and formally filed my whistleblower statement. They were particularly interested in the altered will and my father's methods of concealing financial transactions. "We will need you to testify if this goes to trial," the lead investigator informed me. "I understand," I replied. "I am prepared to do whatever is necessary." The press conference at 2 p.m. was a controlled spectacle. Standing at the podium with Victor and the board chairman flanking me, I faced dozens of cameras and reporters. Lancaster Technologies has a 50-year history of developing medical devices that save lives. I began that mission remains unchanged. While we address serious allegations regarding financial improprieties under previous leadership, our commitment to patients, healthcare providers, and ethical business practices stands firm. I took no questions about my father specifically deflecting to the ongoing investigation. When asked about my new role, I emphasized my qualifications and lifelong connection to the company's founding mission. As the press conference concluded, a reporter shouted, "Miss Lancaster, is it true you were physically assaulted by your father before reporting his crimes?" The room fell silent. The bandage on my forehead suddenly felt conspicuous. I maintained eye contact with the reporter. "I will not be discussing family matters. This is about Sterling MedTech Group, its employees, and the patients who depend on our products. Thank you." Back in the executive office, reports continued flooding in. The company's stock had indeed plummeted 35% upon resuming trading. 3 executive vice presidents had resigned. Customers were demanding reassurances. Partners were invoking contract review clauses. Through it all, I maintained outward composure, making decisions, directing resources, and projecting confidence. I did not entirely feel. By evening, patterns of support had emerged. Long-term employees rallied around the promise of renewed integrity. Industry partners who had known my grandfather expressed cautious optimism about my leadership. At 8 p.m., Eleanor brought me dinner at my desk. And an update: Douglas has been located. He attempted to access sensitive servers before security removed him from the building. Jackson is handling the legal aspects. I nodded tiredly. Any word on my father? Released on bail but restricted from entering company property. The family estate has been designated a secondary crime scene. He and Stephanie are staying at their lake house and the employees. Eleanor's expression softened, doing better than expected. There were initial shock waves, but your afternoon address to staff helped considerably. People appreciate honesty after months of obvious gaslighting from leadership. Around 1000 p.m., Jackson arrived with additional updates. The federal case is expanding. They have found connections to tax evasion through the offshore accounts. The prosecutor is talking potential plea deals to avoid trial. Will he take one? I asked, knowing my father's pride. Taylor Sterling steps into the elevator, thumb tapping a nervous rhythm on her phone. Rain beads down the glass walls of the tower ride, city sirens bleed through each floor. Doors slide open, penthouse dark. Only the skyline spits white against marble. Then, ring, flame-red screen, unknown caller. "Answer," she whispers. Static crackles. A voice, twisted and smoothed like melted plastic, breathes. "She's still alive." Boom. Call dead. Taylor's pulse rockets. "Mom!" "No. Gone," swore the coroner. The marble under her stilettos tilts. Sirens scream up from Wilshire below, lights painting the suite crimson. Run or freeze. Head screams run. She spins, almost drops the phone. It buzzes again. One muted text. "Basement level. 15 minutes, come alone. No signature, no chance." Taylor slips off the heels, soundless on cold stone, and hits the stairwell. Heart punches. Rain scent drift through the fire door. 11 floors spiral black. Each landing ghosts her childhood. Mom warming cocoa by the glass fire, Dad's laughter before it curdled. Memories stab sharper than the banished bruises. Level B2. Fluorescent hum. Empty. Concrete holds. Then a white van, no plates, idling under a lone bulb. Driver's window tints midnight. Door lifts. A small envelope on the driver's seat. Inside, a Polaroid. Same kitchen counter, same chipped blue mug, but older. Mom's handwriting on a grocery list. Dated last week. Taylor's spine liquefies. Breath fogs the picture proof. One word underside the photo. Caspian Bay Marina. Slip 5. Dawn. Trust no badge. Taylor's fingers trembled too hard to pocket it. Flashback surges. Dad's trial. The slam of gavel. The cavern masks of journalists outside court. Months rebuilding Sterling Medtech brick by betrayed brick. Was it all illusion? Her mind races. GPS opens. Caspian is 2 hours north past Big Sur Cliffs. Gas, Bluetooth off. Keys click in hand. She pivots, nearly crashes into Eleanor, her head of security stepping from the shadows. Going somewhere, Mrs. Sterling? Low, gentle steel beneath. Trust slides razor thin. Emergency coffee run. Taylor lies, voice steady. Eleanor narrows. Coffee doesn't eat shadows, miss. She glances at the van. Wheels click. Backup arrives. Taylor exhales. Time chews. I need you to forget protocol tonight, she whispers. Mom might be alive. Eleanor stiffens. 30-year protector, weathered the Lancaster storms. Finally, keys her own belt. You ride with me, or not at all. No time argue. Seatbelt snap. SUV tires spit water, merging onto wet 405. Radio quiet. Taylor clutches the photo like a lifeline. Dawn is 4 hours away. Reckoning, maybe minutes. Behind them, the Sterling Medtech tower shrinks, haloed in red and blue police flashes. Ahead, the Malibu cliffs glints ink under moonlight, promising answers or worse. The boarded-up gate of the Newport estate groans as I break in. Moonlight licks over charred silk wallpaper and the cracked portrait of my mother. A single stray phone, still vibrating under shattered crystal, buzzes a cryptic text. He lied. She's still breathing. My thumb hovers. Tap or toss. I tap. Screen flares. Coordinates. Heart jackhammers. I spin toward the cliffside greenhouse, glass teeth in moonlight, where Mom once grew midnight orchids. Rain scent curls through broken panes. Leaf rustle. Then a whisper. My name. Taylor. I freeze. Footsteps behind me. Eleanor? No. Too light. I duck inside the greenhouse, soil still warm from the fire. Orchids gone. Only ash. Another buzz. Slip 5. Dawn. Come alone. I backtrack, boots crunching glass. A glint. Mom's locket wedged in the soil. Still warm. Inside, a micro SD. I pocket it. Engine growls outside. Headlights sweep the drive. I drop low. A black SUV, no plates. Door cracks. A woman steps out. Blonde. Familiar. Stephanie. No. She died in the fire. Or did she? She lifts a hand, not a wave. A warning. Finger to lips. Then she vanishes. Alternative is 00. I bolt. Down the cliff trail. Salt wind slices my cheeks. Waves roar below. My Tesla waits, matte black, hidden under fig branches. I slide in, slam door, pulse racing, SD into glove box laptop, files pop, names, dates, a video. Mom, alive, filmed last week. Same kitchen, same chipped blue mug. She whispers, they never buried me. They buried the truth. Caspian Bay, slip 5. Trust the tide. I slam the screen. Tears blurred the dash. The estate burns behind me in the rear view. Not just fire, legacy. Lies. I shift into drive. Tires spit gravel. Malibu cliffs glints ahead. Dawn is 2 hours. But time bends when ghosts speak. I merge onto PCH. Radio off. Only wind and memory. Mom's laugh. Dad's alternative RT 0. The gavel. The masks. The money. All of it crumbling like cliffside sand. My phone buzzes again. Unknown number. A voice. Not human. Distorted. You're not the only Sterling who survived. Click. Silence. I floor it. The road twists. Fog thickens. Headlights flicker behind me. Same SUV? I can't tell. I swerve onto a fire road. Dust devils. Cypress shadows. I reach the marina lot. Empty. Slip 5. A small boat rocks. Name painted fresh. Grace. Mom's name. My throat knots. I step aboard. Engine purrs to life. A note taped to the wheel. Mom's handwriting. Drive east, past the breakers. Answers wait where the current forgets. I grip the throttle. Salt spray. Heart louder than waves. I cast off. The boat glides. Behind me, the SUV screeches to the dock. A figure jumps out. Runs. Too late. I'm gone. Into the dark. Into the truth. Into whatever waits beyond the horizon. But the SD isn't done. I plug it into the boat's nav screen. New file. Live feed. A camera. Inside, Sterling MedTech. Dad's old office. He's there. Alive. Smiling. Signing papers. A new deal. New name. Same empire. My breath fogs the glass. I stare. The screen glitches. One last message. Welcome to the family business, Taylor. You always had the key. I look down. The locket. Warm again. I open it. Inside, not a photo. A fingerprint scanner. I press my thumb. The boat's engine dies. Silence. Then a hatch opens beneath my feet. A ladder. Down. Into the dark. Into whatever legacy really means. I climb, each rung colder, each breath slower, until I see her. Mom. Waiting. Not a ghost. Not a dream. Alive. Smiling. Holding a tablet. Ready to finish what we started? I nod. The hatch seals above. The boat drifts. Empty. Only the sea remembers. I flick open the new app. Labcam loads. My thumb hovers. Screen blinks. There she is. Mom. Alive. Same soft voice. Same scar behind her ear. She's flipping the documents I stole. Phase Arf. My name on the header. Rain scent leaks through the vents. Leaf rustle outside. My pulse sinks with her pen tapping the contract. Phone buzzes. Unknown number. Text. Justice is a story we both edited, sweetheart. Glass walls blur. I steady my breath. I whisper, how long have you been watching? Screen glitches. Mom looks up. Eyes lock. She mouths, did you think betrayal only ran one way? I remember the night she vanished. Dad's rage. The gavel. The silence. I thought I buried her with white roses. Now she sits in a lab I own, signing my future away. I step closer. Cold floor under bare feet. Heart louder than the storm. Another text. Coordinates. Mid-Malibu cliffs. Midnight. I grab the locket. Thumb on the scanner. Hatch opens. Ladder down. Salt air thickens. Boat rocks. Engine purrs. I whisper, Phase Wifer starts now. The screen glows. A countdown. 5 minutes. Taylor Sterling's thumb hovers over send. The file? Every dirty secret of Sterling MedTech. Her heart drums. Rain taps the skylight. She whispers, this is for Mom. A locket snaps open. Inside, a microdrive. Words etched, destroy me. Phone buzzes, unknown. Text, drop this or Mom's crash becomes suicide. Sirens rise, red lights strobe. She freezes, breath like glass. Which truth costs the life she just rebuilt? The boat rocks. Waves slap the hull. Taylor climbs down the hatch. Salt stings her eyes. Mom waits. Alive. Smiling. Tablet in hand. Phase E4 on screen. Taylor asks, how long have you been the ghost executive mogul? Mom answers, since the night they told me you'd sign. Leaf rustle above. Storm gathers. Taylor feels the locket warm again. She presses her thumb. The boat's engine dies. Silence. Then the tablet flashes. Live stream ready. Mom whispers, ready to finish what we started. Taylor nods. The hatch seals. No exit. Only the truth left to broadcast. She taps. Stream live. 10 million watching. Documents scroll. Names. Dates. Bribes. Taylor's voice calm. This is Sterling MedTech. Comments explode. Some cheer. Some rage. Dad's mugshot appears. Taylor's hands shake. She reads the final slide. Phase Warfare is accountability. She looks at Mom, both crying. The screen freezes. Upload complete. No going back, only forward. The rain stops. Malibu dawn drips gold on the boardwalk. I taste salt, steel, cold freedom. The rooftop door groans. City holds its breath. I kneel at the edge. Phone in shaking hand. One last tap. And everything ends. Files pour out. Sterling MedTech's billion-dollar lies bloom like toxic petals on every screen 30 floors below. Daddy's fortune? Gone. Mom's name? Cleared. My old life? Ash. Tears burn hotter than the sunrise. Wind sobs through the antennas. Sky blushes, embarrassed, maybe proud. I whisper, Mom, it's finished. For the first time since she vanished, the air doesn't taste like secrets. 2:44. Chars. Have you ever had to torch your own kingdom just to breathe? Drop your answer. We'll read each one. No filters, no ads. Just voices cutting through the static, same as our final broadcast.